How you doing, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Mo, and today we are finally going to be installing the Brute Force Fab bumper on the Sequoia. If you haven't watched the last video, we did install the Warren winch to the bumper itself, and today we are going to be installing the bumper to the Sequoia. I'm going to go in detail, step by step on how to install it. Now, I am by myself, so it's going to be a little bit harder, so I got a trick up my sleeve that might work. So just follow along and hopefully this video is helpful. Let's get into it. All right, so the first step is to remove this front beauty skid plate. If you don't have it, you can skip this step, but this one is actually attached to the factory tow hooks. If you can see right here. Now, you don't need these tow hooks with the front bumper unless you just want to keep them. I haven't decided if I want to keep them or not, but to remove these is going to require 17 millimeters. So both of these are 17s, and then also on the other side they're 17s. So once you take those off, it's going to take the factory hooks off and the skid plate itself in this hole. As you can see, it's the arms and the skid plate, and that's just gonna drop easily. So let me go ahead and remove those, and then we can move to the next step. All right, so that beauty skid plate is removed, and holy crap, it does make a huge difference on the way how the Sequoia looks. I don't know if I could ever drive the stock bumper without that beauty skid plate. Anyways, all right, so the next step is to remove your factory skid plate if you haven't removed it. Mine has always been off, so I could change the oil easier. All right, so there is 6 tabs at the bottom of the bumper, and then you have your 3 screws that is holding the fender liner to get to the fog lights. Do not forget to unhook the fog lights. And then you got 1 tab right here in the corner, another tab right here in this dimple, and then you got your tab on the side. And then you got your 10 millimeter bolt that is up top. Now, this is what I found so far. Let me go ahead and remove this last tab, and I'm hoping the bumper could fall off. I don't know what's holding it right now, but yeah, let's go ahead and remove that, and then we can move to the next step. You also have a tab right here, tab in the center, and a tab on the side, and I think this is all the tabs you need to remove to be able to take it off. All right, so the bumper cover is finally removed. Now it exposes the actual metal bumper. Now there is 4 nuts or bolts on each side. Well, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. But before we can remove the actual metal bumper, we need to remove this I guess cooler hose, and these are going to be 12 millimeter bolts. We're just going to go ahead and remove those. The new bracket is going to attach right here, so we can get out of the way and attach the Brute Force Fab bumper. So let's go ahead and remove these 2 bolts, and then take off the metal bumper, and I'll let y'all know what size. I haven't checked yet, but these are going to be 12 millimeter. They are 14 millimeter, and we are going to keep those because we are going to reuse them when we install the Brute Force Fab bumper. So let's go ahead and remove those. There's 4 of them. Take them out and then put them aside because they are going to get reused. So let's go ahead and get this step done, and then we can move to the final step. All right, so these are the nuts that were holding that metal bumper. Again, you have 4 of them, 2 on each side. Those are removed, and also the bumper itself is removed, as you can see right here. Now, realistically, all we need to do is attach the brackets and hardware that they supplied us with the Brute Force Fab bumper, and then install the bumper itself. As far as the fender liners, we're gonna have to cut them because I know the Brute Force Fab bumper is not gonna come up any lower than maybe right here. We'll just have to see, but I got my tabs. I just have to know where to cut because I don't want to cut a lot of it because I don't want to get any kind of dirt or anything like that inside the fender. So we're just gonna have to see where we're gonna cut on that. So I'm leaving until we install the bumper itself, and then decide where I should cut. All right, so I'm gonna show you all the brackets that comes with the kit before we go ahead and kind of set up the jig that I have to install the bumper. But yeah, let me go ahead and show you all the brackets, and then we can move to the next step. All right, so this is the hardware that it comes with. Now, of course, these go on the side for the support. This is for the lines, basically a support, since we remove the front bumper, and this is what it was attached to. So it's gonna attach right here, and basically it's gonna go like that. And then of course your nuts and bolts. And then, to be honest with you, I do not know where this one goes. Of course I had them all powder coated, but I just realized this is something that I've never seen, and I have no clue where does it go on here. I figured it's some kind of bracket for something on the truck itself, not on the bumper, but we're just gonna go with the 3 that we have. Maybe it's for a Tundra. I just cannot find where this specific bracket is gonna go. All I know is about these 3. This one is the first time I've ever seen it. So anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and basically attach this bracket to the power steering lines, and then we are gonna try to put the bumper on finally. All right, so let me go ahead and put this in, and we can move to the next step. All right, so the front end, everything that we have to do is done. Went ahead and attached this bracket and used one of their supplied nuts, bolt, and washer to attach it right here. I'll show y'all what comes with it. Now, I know these 3 are gonna be for the skid plate, where the skid plate mounts to the bumper. They supplied us with 3 new bolts. Now I used one of these with a washer for that cooler bracket. Of course we got 2 big ones, 4 medium-sized ones, and 2 long bolts, and 4 nuts and 4 washers. Those are probably gonna go for the brackets on the outside. That's what's gonna attach to the frame itself, and then once we go along, I'll figure out where these go. But yeah, it's ready to be installed. Now I'll show y'all the contraption that I'm gonna have. I'll probably have basically 4 center blocks and a pallet, and I'm gonna put the bumper on top of the pallet and basically kind of drive the truck a little bit, where all I have to do is pick up the bumper just a little bit and made it to the frame itself. So this is kind of something that, you know, I have to do because I'm by myself. I'm hoping it works, because to be honest with you, if it doesn't, then I'm going to be driving my truck just like that, and it's going to be pretty ugly. But I'm going to go ahead and try to set it up and show y'all the finished setup. Basically, I have 8 center blocks, 2 on each side in each corner, and then I got the pallet on top, and I think that's the same height as these the frame brackets basically. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the bumper facing that way, and then drive up the truck, and hopefully it's lined up. I know I'm gonna have to move it around a little bit to line it up, but that's nothing compared to getting the bumper on top of this pallet by myself. So I'm gonna try to use my jack and see if the jack will work. If it doesn't, then I'm kind of screwed, but we'll see. I'm hoping I can get the bumper on the pallet. Let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll move to the next step. So this is the setup that I was talking about, basically putting the jack and a little bit of cardboard so it won't scuff it up. Kind of set it upright like this on the pallet, and then drive it up as close as I can where we'll mate up with these holes, and then go ahead and tighten the bolts on it. And then we could basically put the support brackets and then measure the fender liner and cut it. So I'm gonna go ahead and drive it up, kind of line it up the best I can where it drives in, and then I'll bolt it up and make sure nothing hits the winch, doesn't hit any of these. And I'm, to be honest with you, kind of worried that it will hit, because they do stick out pretty far, and also this kind of sticks out. So we'll just have to see. I'll bring it in closer, and then we can see if it touches anything or not. But yeah, let me go ahead and I'll line it up, and I'll show y'all how it looks. I finally got it lined up the best I can as far as the bolts. Now it does need to come a little bit forward so the support bracket can attach, but what I'm gonna do is put those 2 nuts in where I could back it up and have it stand on its own weight without the pallet, and then that way I can try to push it in a little bit closer. I don't think anything hits. I don't feel anything is hitting. It's just I'm not able to line it up because it kind of wants to tilt back a little bit, and because of the pallet being supporting it. So what I'm gonna do again is put those 2 bolts in where I can back it up and kind of play with the alignment a little bit, and then attach the support brackets. All right, so I installed both nuts that came with the bumper, and then they supply you with a 3rd bolt. Now that one goes in a threaded hole that we do have. There's 2 bolts that are the same size that are going to go in those holes, basically an extra support. So you do need to install those, do not forget about it. So it should be total 3, 2 nuts and 1 bolt that they supplied. So I'm gonna go ahead and install it for the other side, and then I'm gonna back the truck up and let it stand on its own weight. So the bumper is officially on. Again, I don't know, my powder coat is chipping and I paid a lot of money for it. It's kind of pissing me off. But anyways, everything is on, everything is bolted. I just ugga-dugga everything. Now these are 14 millimeters and this one is a 21, and the nut behind is going to be a 19. So I haven't tightened these up yet. I am going to. Now the next step is really to cut off the fender liner. Now I think I know where I want to cut it off at, basically right here on the corner, and just kind of bring it down so all this can go away, where we still have protection and keep those tabs up here. So that's what I'm gonna do. Since I got the tabs, I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it right around this bumper line, or where the plastic is. Just come right here and cut it, and that should give me all the basically clearance that I need, and wouldn't show underneath the bumper. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then the last step will be just wiring up the winch. So I don't know if I want to wire it up tonight. I might just snake it through and kind of test it out. We'll see. It's getting dark, so that's what I'm racing against, is basically light. So I'm going to cut those fender liners, and then we can go ahead and wire up the winch if we got time. It is completely done. The bumper is bolted on, the winch is in, it works. Now remember, we did trim the fender liner. Now I did trim it from here. It does expose the reservoir right here. I don't think it's a big deal, but just kind of letting y'all know that it does expose it. Also, we did zip tie the fog light harness right here. I am gonna add fog lights. There's gonna be a video coming up, and I'm gonna show y'all how to wire it to the factory switch, where you don't have to do any cutting to the factory harness. And that's gonna be for both fog lights. I'm gonna have, you know, 2 on each side basically. Also, the winch was wired up, but when I do wire it up, and even if it's running, it still draws a lot of power. So if you know anything about winches, please let me know, why is it drawing so much power even when it's not in use. I'll show y'all what I did. As far as right here, basically zip tied the whole wires across the bumper, and it's out of the way. I don't think it will get hot. If I see there's any bubbling on the wire, I'll definitely have to reroute it, but that's how it goes. And then it goes up where the headlight is. There's a hole. I'll show y'all. So it's kind of coming in from the bottom and then snaking through here where the headlight hole is, and then it's coming on this side. Now it does reach, so even though it's crossing over, it does reach and it plugs up. But yeah, that's it, and it looks pretty good. It looks really mean, and I'm just happy with it. Now you can actually see all the Solo Motorsports lower control arms, and just kind of gives it a little bit more aggressive look. Of course, we're gonna have to add more lights, the 2 in the bumper, and then of course I kind of want to put big kind of LP4s and LP6s basically in the center. So we'll see how that fits. I got to get measurements, and I got to talk to Baja Design about it, see if they actually fit and if I can order them, because everything's back ordered with them. But yeah, if you like this video, guys, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, and I'll have more videos coming up.